Good morning, class. So today we are back with a new topic, collections. Now we will be doing the vector class in today's session. So initially we had done the linked list and the array list. Now in today's class we will see what is the vector class in Java. Then we will also see how do you create vector class constructors. We will see some methods on vector class, and then if time permits we will also see the stack class in Java. So proceeding with today's class. Now what actually is vector class? Now Java vector class basically also is included in the package java.util.vector, which has to be implemented from the growable array of objects. Now vector is useful because when we don't know the size of the array and when we want that the collection or the array has to be worked dynamically or during the execution of the program, then we can use vectors. Whereas an array list and linked list, we need to specify the size of the collection, but when you are not sure about the collection size, then you can use the vector class. Now vector basically implements the dynamic array. That means it can grow according to the size of the array, or it can shrink according to the size of the array. So whatever is the requirement of the program, the vector class can implement it dynamically. And unlike the linked list and array list, vector is synchronous. So these are the basic features of your vector class. Now proceeding further, let's see how do you create Java vector class constructor. Now first way of creating a Java vector class constructor is I can create an empty vector class, right? And the empty vector class will always have the default size of 10. So whenever I create this vector by calling vector v equal to new vector, then the default size will be 10. Again, similar like your array list and linked list, you need to specify the data type of what you are going to make the vector. The second constructor which we will be seeing is vector, and we have to specify the initial capacity. That means when you're creating the vector, how much you want the initial capacity. As we know that dynamically it can grow or it can shrink, but initially we can specify some size to that vector. So this constructor also can be specified. So in the parenthesis we can pass a incremented size. Then third constructor which we can have is vector. We pass the initial capacity, and we also given the capacity increment till how many increments or what size it can increment the capacity. And fourth constructor is we can have a vector which will have the collection of the already existing collection. So with these four ways we can create the Java vector class constructors. Now coming back to the methods. So what methods we can use on the vector class? Now we have already seen the methods of array list, linked list. Similar methods we have it here. Apart from that, we will have some additional methods in the vector class. Now the first method, add. Now add method is basically used to append a specific element in the given vector, right? And then add all will add all the elements from a specific collection. So if I want to add individual elements to my vector class, I use the simple method of add. Whereas if I want to add all the elements which are there from the existing collection, I can use the method called as add all. Now look at the camel case of the method. Similarly, if I want to add an element at a specific component to the end of this vector, and if I say add element, it is actually going to increase the size of your vector. So see, add element, it will increase the size of the vector by 1. So dynamically it is going to grow. So add element, and you pass the element which has to be added. Now here capacity method, so it is used to get the current capacity. So if you want, when you're creating the constructor, maybe you have given the capacity as 2 or 3. So when I write the method capacity, it retrieves me the capacity of my vector. So the capacity method is used to check the current capacity. Now clear, as we have seen in previous collections, clear is to delete all the elements from this vector. Now next method is contains. So what happen in contains? It will return true if the vectors consent are specified. So this method also we have seen. I pass an element. So if I want to check if the passed element exists in the collection, I can use the contains method. Now contains all, if I want to check if the past contents are there in the specified collection. So instead of a single element, I can pass n number of elements. So it can be contains all. So content and content all. Then if I want to get the component of a specified index, I want to retrieve a index of a element which I have passed. Then I say element at. So if I passed element at, and let's say I pass the string as Steve or Harry, then it will retrieve me the index number of the passed element. Then elements. The elements will return the enumeration of the components of the vector. So n number of whatever elements are there, it will display it as the elements. Now equals. Now equals method is basically used to compare the specific object with the vector for the quality. So if I'm passing the values, if I want to check whether the past value equalizes with respect to the case in the elements in the collection, then I use the equals. Whereas contents check whether that particular elements contains in the element, and equalizers will check whether the value which you have passed equalizes with the elements. Then first element, if you want to retrieve the first element from the vector, I use the first element. And if I want to iterate through my collection, that's it, means if I want to move ahead, or if I want to check the previous elements, if I want to go to a particular position, then I can use an iterator, and for that iterator I need to use a for each method. So this will perform the given action for each element by using the iteratable until all the elements in the collection are processed, and as soon as it comes out, if there are no elements, it will throw an exception. And the hash code, because we have done the vector up till now, we can use the add method and the add on the next methods and all. Now here this hash code method just will skip for some time. When we do the practically, I'll tell you what actually is the hash code. Now you know what is hashing. How do you work in hashing? How do you store the elements in hashing? The hash code works in the similar concept of the hash code. So skipping for some time, then we come to the next method, which is called as index of. Now this is basically used to get the index of the first occurrence of the specified element in the vector. It will return -1 if the vector does not contain. Now here I try to check the index of that particular. So let's say suppose I have n number of elements which are stored in my collection, then what is the first occurrence of that? So when I say index of and I pass a string here, let's say index of and test. So wherever test exists in my collection, let's say it exists in n number of position, the first index of test will be retrieved and it gives me. If it exists, it will return, otherwise it is going to return -1. Then I can insert an object at a specified position with the insert element at. Now you remember in linked list yesterday when we had to insert a particular element, then what we had done, we had to give add, we use the method int index and then comma, and we pass the element. So that particular element was stored at that particular index number. Here what we do, we select insert element at and then we pass the index by id or the specified index. So insert element will get inserted at that particular index point. Then if you want to display the elements in the vector, if you want to check whether are there any elements in the vector, so we have the method called as isEmpty. So if the vector is empty, the particular collection is going to return true, else return false. So again, the return type of isEmpty is Boolean. Then we have the iterator class. So we have a iterator method which is going to iterate over the elements in the list of the proper sequence. So when I use iterator, it will go on iterating to the next element, and the previous element. So there are some methods of the iterator also, which we will see when we do the iterator class. Then the last element, the way you have the first element, the last element. So it will go and retrieve the last component of the vector. Then last index of, it used to get the index of the last occurrence. Now here we have seen index of. The index of method will retrieve the first element of the collection, whereas last index of will return the index number of the last occurrence of that particular element. So index of and last index of, the first occurrence and the last occurrence. Then you have the method list iterator. It is used to list iterate over the elements in the list in the proper sequence. So the list iterator, we go on calculating the list of the elements. Then remove is to remove the element from the vector If the vector does not contain the elements, it remains change. So if the vector is empty, even if you use the method remove, it is not going to show you anything, nor it is going to give you any error message. Then remove all will remove all the elements from the vector that are present in the specified collection. And remove all elements, it is used to remove all the elements from the vector and set the size of the vector as 0. So look at these two methods, remove all and remove all elements. So remove all will remove the elements, but the vector size remains same. So basically it was trying to just remove the contents. The mold or the draft of that collection remains as it is. But when I say remove all element, it is used to remove all the elements from the vector, and the vector size will come back to 0. So let's say suppose I have given the vector size 10. If I say remove, only the 10 contents will be removed. But when I say remove all elements, all the 10 elements will be removed and the vector size will go back to 0. So this is the difference between remove all and remove all elements. So here the size comes to 0. Here the size is specified. Fine. So now before proceeding with the other methods, now I have a method called as remove if. Now what is remove if do? It is used to remove all the elements of the collection that satisfies the given predicate. So here in the bracket, if I pass remove if, let's say the element is test, or where all the elements, where the element starts with T. So I have given this specified condition, I have given the predicate, so it will check for the predicate condition, and whatever elements fulfill that condition, it will remove all the elements. So remove if will need a specified given predicate to check for that condition. It is similar like here if condition, how you say if a equal to 0, so you proceed with the further. So the given predicate will be checked, and if the elements satisfy that given predicate, it will remove that element. Then second, remove range. Now in remove range, I can specify a range from what index number to what index number I want to remove. So let's say suppose I have 50 elements in the vector. I want to remove the elements from 21 to 30. Then I can give the range, remove elements from index and to index. So from index is inclusive and to index is exclusive. So if I give 21 to 40, 21 will be included, 21 will be removed, but 40 will not be removed. It is excluding that to index, right? So this is the remove range. Then we have the method replace all. So it is used to replace each element of the list with the result of applying the operator to that element. So whatever list you pass in the replace all will replace the existing collection. So if I pass the object name and call the replace all, it will replace the original vector with the new elements which are passing in the parameter here. Fine. So replace all. Then we have the retain all. Now retain all will, what it will do? It will keep the original collection as it is, and then whatever new elements you have added will be appended at the end of the list. So retain all will not replace the existing collection, but it will append to the end of the list. So this is the difference between your replace all and retain all. Then again, when I want to modify a particular element in the particular vector, I use the element at the specified. I have the set method. Now set method we have already seen in linked list and array list. So some methods will remain as it is. Then set element at. Now again, set element at, here it will go back, it will go and get the specified index of the vector and try to replace the element. So set element at, and if you pass the element here, let's say 2 or 3, it will modify that element. Then set size as I said, during dynamic or during the runtime also, the vector can be dynamically grown or shrunk. So this here I can specify the size. So sets the size of the given vector. Then size, it gives the number of components of the given vector. Sort, now here it is used to sort the list according to the order induced by the specified comparator. So here I can give ascending sorting or descending sorting. So I can easily sort my elements in the vector. So I don't have to use like in C programming, you have done the bubble sorting, the insertion sorting, merge sorting. So here I have a method sort will automatically sort the vector. Then you have the sublist. So here what happens, let's say now here we have seen the range. So here also sublist. Let's say I want to only retrieve a particular, here I'm retrieving, remove range will remove the element. Here I'm just retrieving. So if I say sublist, so a sublist from roll number 11 to 30, so it will just retrieve the student's name whose roll number starts with 11 till the roll numbers which start with 30. Again 11 will be included but 30 won't be included, because the from index is inclusive and to index is exclusive. Clear with this? So these are the 40 methods which we have in the vector class, right? This is again the same repetition of the method. Now coming back to the, one second, I'll just admit someone. Fine. So here we'll see this particular example of vector in Java. Now again, we have seen vector is a package which is there in the util package. So first I need to import the util package, import java.util.star. Then I create the vector example. I call the main method. Then you look at here. Now what is this constructor? This is a default constructor. That means vector. Then what vector data type I need to specify? This is string vector. This is the identifier VEC. So an object VEC of vector string type has been created with the new vector string, and I have specified the size here. So this will have only 2. So the capacity. Now here look at this, vector of initial capacity size 2. So here I have specified the capacity of that. Now once this is created, I need to go on adding elements to that. So how do you add elements? We have add element method which we have seen. So here what is the object? VEC. So VEC dot add element, I go on adding apple, orange, mango, fig and so on. So 4 elements have been added. Now check the size and the capacity. Now if I print the vector, now how do I print the vector? What is the size? So vector VEC dot size, and then the default capacity, what is the capacity there? And again I'm going to add this. So these are the, this is the program we have, and let's see what output we are going to get. So after adding element, I can add the element fruit 1, fruit 2, fruit 3. And then I try to print the size after addition. So here it will show you the initial capacity, whatever is the capacity of the vector. And after that, when I try to add new fruits, then what will be the size and what is the capacity, right? And then they are trying to display the vectors with the enumeration. Enumeration we have not done, but enumeration they have created the object and then try to print it. So this particular enumeration has more elements, methods and all we will do in the preceding classes, which we do what are the enumeration. So this is basically the constructor of the vector. This is adding the elements in the vector. This is checking the capacity and the size. This is adding more element and checking the capacity. So this is going to be the output. So here size is 2. Now how many elements have been added? 4. So what will be the vector size? It is showing 4. So then it is showing default capacity increment. So what is the capacity of that? So capacity of the vector here is the number of elements in the vector. So what it is showing you, the capacity increment is 4. That means vector was initially started with the capacity of 2, but as I have put in 4 elements, the vector has dynamically changed and now the capacity has incremented to 4. Then I added 3 more fruits here, right? So again, I'm checking the size after addition. So size after addition, so 3 elements have been added. So now the size is 7. And what is the capacity incremented? The capacity has been incremented to 8. So dynamically, the vector is changing the size. So even if whatever size you have given in initial capacity, as soon as you go on adding the elements, it will go on changing, right? And then with the help of the enumerator, they have tried to display the elements in the collection. So what it will display? It will display apple, orange, mango, fig, fruit 1, 2 and 3. So here apple, mango, orange, fig and all the elements. So this is the way you try to display your vectors with the enumeration. So this So we stop here today and we meet in the next lecture where we are going to do the stack. So these are the references with which I have tried to create this lecture. So see you in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.